If you want to be more efficient and effective while running your business with more inner peace, then working on the core of your issues instead of putting on a band-aid is vital. Welcome to the Business Brain Podcast.
I'm your host, Esty Rapport, and here to help you improve your 28 cognitive functions, the 28 things that make up thinking. In each episode, we'll discuss a real-life challenge, why you might be struggling with it, and give you practical strategies so all areas of your life will improve.
I have a feeling more than 50% of arguments and disagreements won't happen if you improve and use this one thinking skill. It's simple to understand and goes very deep. And that's what's coming up next on the Business Brain Podcast, episode 434. But first, which one of your thinking skills is the strongest? Which ones need some help? Find out by taking the Cognitive Function Assessment at LifeFixUniversity.com/CF. For today's real life challenge, imagine you overheard two of your friends disagreeing. You quickly notice the reason they're not coming on the same page is because they are talking about two different things, even though they are using the same word. Often people get into disagreements because they are not using the thinking skill of labeling. Labeling is about calling items, ideas, concepts, etc. by their right label, so everyone knows what you're talking about. One way you'll notice if you're not using labels is if you find yourself using vague words like this, that, there, whatever, without fully expressing yourself. If you tell your child to get the book from there, they don't know what book and they don't know from where. When you use the label of get the Goldilocks book from the bottom shelf in the playroom, they know exactly what you're talking about. Another way this shows up is with items that don't have labels. You need to make up your own labels so people know exactly what you're talking about. Think about ritual systems, plans that you made up, anything that's business related. Often we've created them, right? Like we've created our business. Only these things in our business have no labels. And like we've created them, we need to create those labels. This way, everyone can understand and communicate what you're talking about. A big way a lack of labels shows up in arguments is when people are used the same word or phrase, but put a different meaning to it. For example, if I ask you to communicate and you say you are communicating, but what you mean about communication and what I mean about communication are different, we are going to get in a disagreement. You may be using the word programs to talk about all our live programs, while I'm using the word programs to talk about anything that we sell, including our online self-paced programs. You can see how this will affect how we talk about cash flow, profits, plans, etc. Anything if we're not on the same page, even though we are using the same. What you want to do to remove as many arguments as possible is right at the beginning of a discussion, ask the people you're talking to tell you and define to you what they mean. What are the definition of the keywords they are using? If you're having a team meeting, start the meeting by identifying the keywords and defining what they mean together. So that way, when you're talking about programs, everyone knows exactly what you're talking about. Today we spoke about how the lack of labels creates a lot of confusion, miscommunication, and arguments. By simply being aware of the labels you are using and clarifying them with the people around you, you will find yourself saving lots of time and aggravation. Don't be surprised if it saves your marriage. Your challenge this week is exactly that. Be aware of the words you are using and make sure your labels have clear definition with everyone you are talking to. Be conscious about it until it happens naturally without you even having to think about it. Have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you on the next episode.
That's all for this episode of the Business Brain Podcast. If you enjoyed it, please share it with 2 of your business friends so they too can gain from it, and you'll be helping us reach our goal of 1 million downloads by the end of 2025. Cheers to peak brain performance.